What's good, planet Earth? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Charlie and thank you for being here. Today we're getting into something that may raise a few eyebrows, but I don't care. We give everything and everyone an opportunity on this channel. Now, before we get started, let's make something abundantly clear. Just because I've put this on the channel does not make me right-wing, does not make me pro or anti-Israel, does not make me anti-gay people, or any of the hyper-polarized labels and pigeonholes people like to give you or put you in respectively. We really need to start realizing that everyone has something of value to say, something of value to add, and stop refusing to listen to people just because we don't agree with them on everything. I used to be pretty far left-leaning until I took the time to actually listen to my enemies. It wasn't until I listened to people that I realized, this person says some stuff that I actually agree with, and they say some stuff that I don't agree with. And that's the case for everyone. You're not a supporter and advocate for everything that someone says just because you agree with one thing that they say. So it's really important to go into the lion's den and actually listen to people that you perceive to be your enemies, and you'll realize that they're not so your enemies, and you'll also realize quite how polarized we've been. We've been taught that it's us versus them, and actually most of us are stuck in this false dichotomy where we're shouting support for one side of a coin that doesn't give the slightest ounce of a fuck about you. Everyone has some truth to offer, and everyone has a bunch of bullshit too. I'm full of bullshit, but I like to think I'm full of some good stuff and some truth too. Now, with that being said, this is Tom MacDonald's new song Facts featuring Ben Shapiro. Let's see what it's all about, and without further ado, let's go.
Kept it 100 from the start. Who knew
They call me offensive, controversial. There's only two genders, boys and girls. They can't cancel my message cause I'm the biggest independent rapper in the whole freaking world. Claim that I'm racist, yeah, right. I'm not ashamed because I'm white. If every Caucasian's a bigot, I guess every Muslim's a terrorist. Every liberal is right. I don't want to talk to folks who don't.
Okay, so let's get into this a little bit. This is kind of what I was alluding to in the intro a bit. You can't paint entire groups of people with one brush. It's idiotic. Not every white person is a bigot. Not every, what did he say? Not every Muslim's a terrorist. Not every liberal's right. There's nuance. That is what we're missing, is nuance. But people are too lazy. People don't like nuance because it takes effort. It takes thought. It takes ongoing re-evaluation nuance. People don't like that. They like absolutes. They like extremes because then they don't have to think. They think, okay, well, if I affiliate myself with this side, then I don't need to think about it anymore. I just agree with them. They give me the sort of framework that I need to know. They tell me who my enemy is, and you don't need to do any work. You're following. You're following. You're not thinking for yourself. You're following. You're just like, this is my side, and that's all I need to choose. These seem to be my people. There's nothing more complex about it than that. These are my enemies, and it doesn't matter what they say. It's ridiculous, and we need to stop doing it. We need to make the effort. We need to do the research. We need to investigate people. We need to listen to them. Stop discounting people. It does my head in. I hate it, and I used to be one of those people, so I'm kind of hating on who I used to be, and I think that's something that we all do, to be honest.
Independent rapper in the whole freaking world. Claim that I'm racist, yeah, right. I'm not ashamed because I'm white. If every Caucasian's a bigot, I guess every Muslim's a terrorist. Every liberal is right. I don't want to talk to folks who don't get it. Go woke, go broke, no hope. It's pathetic. Pro-choice, pronouns, pro-love, you're progressive. But you ain't pro-gun, no one to protect it. Where the American flags at? Remember when people would hang those? They've been taken down, they all been replaced with BLM flags or a rainbow. This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't selling drugs, we ain't gonna overdose. We ain't pushing guns, ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes.
Right, okay, so what he's talking about is the very clear agendas. It's okay to be pro certain things. It's okay to support the LGBTQ community. It's okay to support anti-racism. But I feel like what he's talking about is its agenda for division. And it's not cultivating real inclusion, real understanding, real education, real acceptance. Because what it does, and this may be down to most people's tendency towards tribalism and polarization, is make you anti the opposite. You know, the feminist movement, I'm not against women having the same rights. I'm not against women having the same opportunities, but I am against this anti-men thing that seems to have come out of it, and this confusion between the top 0.whatever% of people and 50% of the population. You know, the majority of men don't have this almighty privilege that these feminists think we do. Sure, we have some privileges. Everyone has some privilege. There's a benefit to being whoever you are. There's some benefit. That's not to say there aren't significant downsides to being whoever you are, but there's a benefit to being almost anyone. There's definitely female privilege. There's definitely male privilege. It doesn't matter who you are. There's a privilege. In some situation, there is a privilege attached to being who you are. There's an advantage to be had, right?
We ain't pushing guns, ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes. I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you. You can cry and you can scream, you can riot in the streets, you defunding the police. Now there's no one to protect you. I hope I offend you. I ask myself what my pen do. Let's just keep it real, facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man. I'm the man who don't respect.
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Liz, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a whack. Dog, it's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap. Look at the graphs. Look at my charts. You're blowing money on strippers and cars. You go into prison. I'm on television. Dogs, no one knows who you are. Keep hating on me on the internet. My comment section all woke Karens. And I make racks off compound interest. Y'all live with your parents. Nikki, take some notes. I just did this for fun. All my people download this. Let's get a Billboard #1.
This ain't rap. This ain't money. Cars and clothes.
Can't really argue with that. This is what will happen if you listen to people like him. Sure, again, you might not agree with everything that he has to say, but that's absolutely true. While a lot of people sit at home and do exactly what I used to do, which was bitch and moan from my own sofa, not being an authority on anything, just thinking you're really important, you know what's up, you know who your enemy is, you know who needs to be taken down, you know who you're not going to listen to, you know what you know, and no one can tell you otherwise. What are you doing? You're at home doing nothing. You're building nothing. You're not having any effect on the world. You're not having a positive effect on the world. You're just bitching. Sitting at home, bitching, in your underwear, doing nothing. You're nobody. You haven't done enough in your life to think you have that much importance and that much authority. That was me. That's who he's talking about. Actually build something, build something that's going to compound. Build real wealth. Build real success. That's what he's talking about. And that I don't think anyone can legitimately argue with, regardless of what issues you do or don't agree with him on. Let's get into it.
Your parents, Nikki, take some notes. I just did this for fun. All my people download this. Let's get a Billboard #1.
This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't selling drugs, we ain't gonna overdose. We ain't pushing guns, ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes.
Yeah. And that's what the music industry, well, that's what the mainstream music industry does. Look at it, man. Look at who it's full of. They've taken hip-hop culture and they turned it into awful, just like glorifying hoes and all that shit. It's horrendous. The state of mainstream music these days is awful. That's what these huge media companies and record companies are doing. That's what they push. And it's people like this that they shy away from. People who actually have a valuable message. Again, you don't have to agree with everything that they say, but you do have a responsibility to listen to people. Even if they say some stuff that you don't agree with, they may be saying something of great importance and great value.
We ain't gonna overdose. We ain't pushing guns, ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes. I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you. You can scream, you can riot in the streets, you defunding the police. Now there's no one to protect you. I hope I offend you. I ask myself what my pen do. Let's just keep it real, facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man who don't respect you. You man, you man, you man. I guess it's cool to be the victim, well, I'ma be the man. You sad, you sad, you sad. You just try to get attention, being triggered's all you have. You mad, you mad, you mad. You blame everybody else for every problem that you can. You sad, you sad, you sad. I will never say I'm sorry, I ain't taking nothing back. I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you.
The beat's hard as well.
You defunding the police. Now there's no one to protect you. I hope I offend you. I ask myself what my pen do. Let's just keep it real, facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man who don't respect you.
Yo, it's hard. Hard. Welcome to the Afterthought. That was a genius choice for a collaboration because Ben Shapiro talks so quickly. It makes sense that he'd be able to do a verse even though he's not a rapper. Now, something he spoke about at the end there was this sort of perpetual state of victimhood of people and not taking accountability, and the problem always being somewhere else. The reason that you can't do this and that is somewhere else, and I think that's absolutely true. However, for a bit of balance here, let me just say this. Even ideas like this can be taken to too far of an extreme. Let me give you an example. So the other day I wrote a post in the Facebook group for Tony Robbins's Rise Up Summit. Now, it was quite a long post and it gave a sort of summary of where I was in life, some of the difficulties that I was facing, but took full accountability of where I was at and the decisions that I've made and the poor decisions that I've made in the past. And I call it toxic accountability. And again, it's just another example of people taking an idea and not being able to see nuance. They're just like accountability, and yes, accountability, everything starts with accountability, don't get me wrong. But what some people in the comments, don't get me wrong, okay, so an overwhelming majority of the comments were supportive and understood what I was getting at, but some of the comments did show signs of this sort of almost toxic accountability where it didn't even matter that I had taken full accountability. They didn't see that. They saw me explaining where some of the problems that I was facing, and were just like, oh, stop bitching about your problems. Don't come here to air your dirty laundry, which I wasn't doing. I had a genuine question about, I was asking advice on how to move forward in a certain element of my life, considering the situation that I found myself in, the one that I took full accountability for. So again, this is another example of people not being able to sort of see anything in between the extremes. I think maybe what it is people see something in themselves that they don't like, or they don't like a previous version of themselves. They saw that at one point in time they didn't take accountability for their own actions. They blamed other people and other things and external things for the problems in their lives. And because they can't show the previous versions of themselves any sort of compassion or love or empathy, they then can't give it to other people and will go as far as making up narratives about that person and what they're saying or what they're doing and disregard things that they've said. It's really interesting. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about this. Let's meet in the comments. I'm so interested to hear what everyone has to say about this. No doubt it is going to split the room. I've no doubt about that at all, but I'm here for it. Let's hear what you've got to say. Let's keep it respectful. Let's keep it kind. Let's keep it full of love. And let's have a grown-up discussion about the things discussed in this song. Anyway, the beat was hard. That much can be said. If you're new here, think about subscribing, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a like. That really, really helps. If you really enjoyed it, think about supporting me on Patreon. The link's down in the description. There you get early releases, blocked content. Anyway, have a fantastic day. And as always, be kind to yourselves. Love everyone and take care. I freaking love you guys.